You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. The Democratic nominee for president visits the birthplace of the Republican Party today. Vice President Kamala Harris campaigns in Ripon. It's Harris' fifth visit to Wisconsin since her campaign began in July. Donald Trump won Fond du Lac County by more than 15,000 votes 4 years ago. Trump campaigns in Juneau on Sunday. Kamala Harris leads Donald Trump by 4 points in Wisconsin in the latest Marquette poll. Poll director Charles Franklin says independents have been trending for Harris since Joe Biden left the race.
Independents have bumped up to 60 or a little above 60% for Harris. Seeing it twice in a row, I think, is worth noting.
Meanwhile, Tammy Baldwin has a 7-point lead over Eric Hovde in the race for U.S. Senate. A new report finds Wisconsin is heading toward a potential senior care crisis. Forward Analytics says the number of people in Wisconsin aged 75 and older is expected to go up by about 75% in the next 20 years. That means a need for almost 60,000 new nursing home beds and 99,000 nurses and other staff by 2040. 45 pets displaced by Hurricane Helene are now in animal shelters around Wisconsin. The Humane Society's Lisa Bernard says the idea is to open up space in affected areas to handle local pets lost and reunite them with their owners. The Humane Society will make an announcement when the animals here are up for adoption. As many as 82 Wisconsin projects tied to clean energy could qualify for tax incentives under the Inflation Reduction Act. Emily Pritzko of the Wisconsin Building Trades Council says they'll offer good jobs.
Excellent pay, flexibility, and we are rising to meet that.
Wind turbine technicians and solar installers are the fastest growing occupations in the U.S. The Milwaukee Brewers may be looking for a new home on cable TV. The operator of Bally Sports was in bankruptcy court yesterday. Its reorganization plan includes cutting ties with 7 teams under contract for next year, including the Brewers. A final hearing on Bally's reorganization plan is November 14th. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now, here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WRCE News, I'm Joanne Krulotz. Governor Tony Evers has appointed Ryan Keeler to serve as Grant County District Attorney. The appointment fills a vacancy created by former District Attorney Ian Mickelson's resignation. Keeler will serve the remainder of the unexpired term that ends January 2025. Since 2016, Keeler has been in private law practice in Platteville, where he focused on criminal defense. He previously served as president of the Grant County Bar Association and also served as a lecturer of agricultural and environmental law at the University of Wisconsin, Platteville. Originally from his family's dairy farm outside Platteville, Keeler is a graduate of UW-La Crosse and the University of Wisconsin Law School and currently lives in Platteville. The November general election is just over a month away. Civic Media has a Wisconsin legislative voter guide with all the information you're looking for. Candidates running to represent you in the new legislative maps. Visit civicmedia.us/voter guide. There's something for everyone in the WRCE listening area this weekend. An array of activities will be held beginning Friday and running through Sunday. From the Richland Center Homecoming Parade to tractor rides and benefits and the Canyon of Lights Parade. Center Colorfest weekend will kick off with the Hill Country Classic Power's annual Wheels of Time Truck Tractor Show at the Richland County Fairgrounds. The UW Richland alumni will be honoring 5 distinguished alumni at their annual brunch at the Phoenix Center Saturday morning. Richland County EMS will host a fall festival Saturday from noon to 4 at Crosscup Park. The Friendship Quilters Quilt Show will be held at the Schmidt-Wilden Hills Senior Living Facility Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4 both days. Join the community of Richland Center for a celebration of sights and sounds at the Canyon of Lights Nighttime Parade Saturday night at 7. This year's theme is Superhero Showdown. The USDA has announced funding provided by the Inflation Reduction Act for the Agricultural Conservation Easement Program for fiscal year 2025. NRCS accepts applications year-round for ACEP agricultural land easements and wetland reserve easements. Interested landowners and partners should apply by the next two batching dates, October 4th or December 20th, at their local NRCS office to be considered for these two state-led funding cycles. In addition, any application submitted to NRCS that was unfunded in fiscal year 2024 will be automatically reconsidered during the October 4th funding cycle unless canceled by the applicant. In fiscal year 2025, states will receive Inflation Reduction Act funding, and all eligible applications within a state will compete. The current ACEP priorities for the Inflation Reduction Act funding are unchanged from last fiscal year and are available in all states. The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection will hold a Global Dairy Summit Friday from 9 to 11:30 at the World Dairy Expo in Madison, featuring national leaders in the dairy industry. The purpose of the Global Dairy Summit is to provide insight into the dairy economy, consider the industry outlook, and highlight potential marketing opportunities. The Global Dairy Summit will be held in the Tan Bark on the Expo grounds at Alliant Energy Center. It's free to attend with paid admission to World Dairy Expo, but pre-registration is encouraged. For more information and to register, visit datcp.wi.gov/pages/ag-development/globaldairysummit.aspx. DATCAP invites Wisconsin dairy processors to apply for dairy processor grants through Monday, October 7th. For more information and the grant application, go to datcp.wi.gov. And that's what you need to know. I'm Joanne Krulotz.
He swings and drives one out towards right center. Taylor back, and it's gone! Mitchell, a two-run homer, and the Brewers have the lead. It's 5-3.
That's what it sounded like on ESPN Radio as the Brewers beat the Mets 5-3 last night. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kuska with sports, filling in for Mike Clemens. Today will be Game 3 of the Wild Card Series between the Brewers and the Mets. Jackson Chourio hit 2 home runs, and Garrett Mitchell hit a go-ahead 2-run blast to move the Brewers in front in the win. Mitchell said he was excited for the opportunity to come up big.
Obviously, there's a lot of pressure there, but at the same time, it's just enjoying the game and having fun. It's a kid's game, Play it. Like I said, those are the types of things you look at when you're in the backyard. It was awesome, it was exciting. Still trying to come down from it, but just most importantly, excited to play another game, another day of baseball, and come back out here tomorrow and do it again.
Manager Pat Murphy said Chourio had a great night.
Yeah, that's pretty special. Yeah, pretty special. A lot of guys contributed tonight. It was, again, you saw what our team's about, what they've been about all year. They didn't quit. They kept every pitch. Yeah, a lot of guys' contributions, but Chourio, oof.
Willie Adames was impressed by Churio's performance.
Insane. I feel like he's done some, he hit some clutch hits, throughout the year. But I know for him that felt amazing, and for the team felt unbelievable. That changed the whole game right there, and he gave us an opportunity to play Game 3 tomorrow.
First pitch tonight is after 6 p.m. If the Brewers win, they'll play the Phillies on Saturday and Sunday to start the NLDS. And the Packers will try to bounce back this week as they take on the Rams on Sunday after losing last weekend to the Vikings. Kickoff on Sunday is after 3 p.m. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Mark Hamill has agreed to appear in a revival of Cartoon Network's The Regular Show. The show ran for 8 seasons on Cartoon Network and is being brought back by Warner Brothers. Hamill played a Yeti named Skips and will return to the role. If you haven't checked out the animated show, I recommend it, or maybe you're not interested in the hijinks of slackers Mordecai, a blue jay, and Rigby, a raccoon, who try to avoid doing any kind of actual work and spend the day playing video games. It took a lot to get Daniel Day-Lewis to come out of retirement, specifically the movie his son is making that Lewis helped him co-write. Lewis has not been seen on the silver screen in 7 years, but is warming up his acting chops to star in Anemone. Ronan is directing the film for Focus Features. According to Yahoo Entertainment, the story centers on the relationships between fathers and sons and brothers. Daniel Day-Lewis is considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest actor of his generation. He's the only male actor to have won 3 Oscars for Best Actor. Lots of really respected actors have passed away the last several days, including Maggie Smith, Chris Christopherson, John Ashton, and now John Amos. Amos starred in Roots, the TV miniseries from the late 1970s, and Norman Lear's hit show Good Times. His other credits included Coming to America, Uncut Gems, and Die Hard 2. Amos was 84 years old. It seems no one has told Haley Welch, also known as the Hawk Tuah girl, that her 15 minutes of fame are up. First, she was an internet sensation. Then she threw out a few first pitches and appeared on popular podcasts and sold some serious merch. But she's not stopping there. Now she has her own podcast on Spotify, and it is the third most popular. The podcast is called Talk Tuah. Those who tune in to Talk Tuah can expect to hear Haley chatting with celebrities, exuding Southern hospitality, and giving relationship advice. I thought Hawk Tuah was relationship advice. The show Reacher has never been devoid of girl power, but a new spin-off will take it to the next level. Prime Video is developing a new series. It will star Maria Sten, who plays Frances Neagley, opposite Reacher. In a recent interview, Sten said the show will still be very Reacher, with snappy dialogue and lots of action, but it will be its own show. Reacher, based on the books by Lee Child, is one of Amazon's most popular shows domestically and worldwide. A release date has not been set. Democratic nominee Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump will not be invited onto Saturday Night Live before the November 5th presidential election. SNL creator Lorne Michaels told The Hollywood Reporter that due to equal time provisions, it gets too complicated, and he would have to invite every candidate on, even minor candidates who are only on the ballot in 2 or 3 states. I guess for the time being, we are stuck with impersonators James Austin Johnson as Trump and Maya Rudolph playing Harris. My personal favorite, Jim Gaffigan as Tim Walz. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mostly sunny today. We'll get to around 73 for a high this afternoon. The wind out of the north at 5 to 15. Tonight, partly cloudy, 48. Tomorrow, sunny, 70. And then on Saturday, a little return to summer with sunshine at a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 46.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.